I need to clear out the cobweb.
So that's Goku.
During his battle with Frieza, I take it.
Yes, that's the one.
Isn't Saiyan hair supposed to be black?
Saiyans possess the ability.
Timeline number 8. In this timeline, the battle and Goku's adventure continues to devastate and end all the gods who managed to become the gods of darkness. Goku received Zeno-sama's powers after the collapse between universes. This is the Goku from the timeline we follow. But in timeline number 8, there's another Goku who stole Zeno-sama's powers and soon after attacked all the other rulers, even fighting the Great Priest. The whereabouts of the Great Priest are currently unknown. The other Saiyans that existed there were able to receive the powers of destruction and creation from Goku, king of the universe of this timeline. Goku, with the intention of protecting everyone and trying to save this planet at the behest of Zeno-sama from the timeline that we follow, Goku goes to Earth, where he sees that everything was devastated, but that it seemed that all the people there were starting to call him Your Majesty. Goku didn't quite understand until Bulma explained what had happened on that planet. Times after participating, see that Goku goes to the planet Beerus, and on the planet Beerus, the behavior of Whis and Beerus is totally different with that of the two gods of the original timelines. At that moment, Goku had a battle against Beerus, who, by showing his celestial strength that he had received from Zeno-sama, had defeated him with the great ease, and soon after, had a very insane battle with Whis. After that battle, Whis thought it seemed that even in that timeline, Whis wasn't agreeing with the things that had happened. Whis wanted to bring back Zeno-sama, back to current times. Whis says, Lord Goku, it seems that actually in another timeline, the powers of the Lord led to become much stronger. How did you get all that power? Goku watches and speaks. Good Lord Whis, now we will need to talk. I came from another timeline at the behest of Zeno-sama himself. Beerus is startled and Whis starts watching. Hey, how's it going? Just here to remind you to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel so you don't miss any videos, and stay well inside our entire universe of Dragon Ball of our Z Warriors. Let's go back to the point without further ado. Moments after Goku's battle against Beerus and Whis, at that moment Goku says, I'm not quite understanding what ended up with Mr. Beerus and Mr. Whis. When I remember that Gohan and I were training next to Vegeta in the time chamber, and out of nowhere, Mr. Beerus from my universe appeared and said that he needed to finish me off. Beerus stood watching next to Whis. After you say that, you created a large Hakai sphere energy towards me. At that moment, it seemed that everything was over. Not even Mr. Whis wasn't agreeing very well with Beerus attacking me, but I no longer saw any chance of winning. Until the moment I received all his Rakai energy, and for some reason he started to absorb it, and soon after, I started to hear a voice. This voice said that I was much more powerful than I ever thought, and that I could win. My powers were always greater than anything I've ever seen before. In fact, I never thought that I would be able to receive heavenly power. But soon after I heard that voice began to have much more strength. When I activated the Ultra Instinct transformation, my body felt like the entire universe, and a spatial energy started to flow over me. It was at that moment that I managed to defeat you, Mr. Beerus. Beerus watches and speaks. You should know that I have much more powers than you, Goku, and I have several celestial battles. Are you sure I've been defeated? Whis started laughing and says, He never believes in things that happen. It sounds like a joke, but it really happened, Mr. Beerus, believe me. That was what happened. You were defeated at that moment. Things looked like they had already changed. Many questions began to be created. In a few moments, Goku continues to conclude the story. After that, Zeno-sama appeared beside the Great Priest, and they said that I should go to their palace. After I went to the palace of the Great Priest next to Zeno-sama, they explained to me that there was another version of me in this timeline who was looking to wreak havoc and become the ruler of it all. It was the only timeline where the ruler was not Zeno-sama. So it was at that point that Zeno-sama started to lose his powers, and the one who started to dominate everything was me, an organic version, and he wasn't a type of Goku Black, because this Goku was simply me who had stolen all the Zeno-sama's powers. Which makes me wonder, where is the High Priest now? Of this timeline, I mean. Whis watches and says, So you still don't know what happened, Mr. Goku? Well, after you stole Zeno-sama's powers here in this timeline, His version of this timeline went mad and wanted the high priest to bow down to him. Even having more powers than the enemy, you had a battle that lasted more than 10 days. But as time went by, his version threatened to destroy all the planets and his powers increased every day because he was the power of the Infinity God until the moment he managed to overcome the Great Priest. But even so, he is only one who might be able to end this version of you and manage to bring Xenosamas back. The big question is that all the Saiyans and all the warriors on Earth are together with this version of you. You ended up bringing back and combining your celestial energies with them. The army of enemies that you have been created and the other 4 warriors who are at my father's side, who are the 4 most powerful in the universe, are now part of your army. It's practically impossible for us to be able to do that. I've been waiting a long time for someone to come along and help us fight in this war. So it means that it is Goku himself from another timeline who will help us to end the Goku ruler of the universe. And that's it. Goku watches and speaks. I never imagined that it would be so much complicated. Does that mean that Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, all of them are in other versions here on this planet? That is indeed what's happening. Our battle will be much more arduous. But Mr. Beerus is here with us. If Mr. Beerus and Mr. Whis will collaborate on battle, maybe we can have a chance to win. At that moment, Goku speaks. Maybe if I use my celestial energy, I can communicate with Xenosama from another timeline. And at that moment, I can bring Gohan and Vegeta here. Perhaps, if we combine our powers, we could defeat the enemy. Whis observes and says, Lord Goku, I have a suggestion. We could directly infiltrate Goku-sama's palace right now and bring the Grand Priest back. I'm sure that my father has the key to defeat all these beings because if not, the Celestial War will surely start. Xenosama's ancient palace where Goku from this timeline currently dominates. Dark Goku appears and says, I feel that another presence of me is here. I think they really are looking for fights. Didn't have any plans to end up entering another timeline to be the god of everything. But it seemed that the High Priest and Xenosama from another timeline aren't too pleased. They only sent one to come here and solve this situation. They must be going crazy. If Xenosama himself couldn't defeat me, what makes them think that they're going to bring another type of warrior that is capable of defeating me? I guess this will have to be my first act. Come on! It's time to start! At that moment, Heavenly Goku goes down the stairs directly from his palace to Heavenly Prison. In the Heavenly Prison are the warriors who were more powerful in the past. And for some reason, or for some breach of divine law, ended up being imprisoned by the Heavenly God. There we found the Great Priest. The Great Priest says, You came here. I thought I would stay here for millennia. What do you want from me? Has any other being appeared to challenge you? Know that it only managed to seal me away because I had to stop your attack. Otherwise, you would destroy the entire universe. If one day I get out of here, you will see all my power. Dark Goku watches and talks. Aw, don't be so reckless. You mean you're still mad at me? You don't want to ally with me. You were always the most powerful being that was next to the great Xenosama. Think that now me and Xenosama are one. Do you believe that you alone could defeat me? Think! Now we can ally and dominate all universes. The Great Priest starts to smile and says, I refuse. Know that you will still fail. Heavenly Goku watches and says, I knew that you would bring and send a message to another timeline. I believe you can. No, I believe you can imagine that your salvation is already preparing to come or invade anywhere. The High Priest is silent. In a few moments, an explosion happens in Xenosama's former palace. From that explosion, all the specters or beings created by Dark Goku, everyone shouts, Your Majesty! Apparently we have an intruder here. The Great Priest begins to smile. Dark Goku says, Daishi-kan? As soon as I solve this, you still pay me! To be continued. Who invaded the palace of the new supreme god Goku? What's going on with that? And then, my partner, what do you believe and what do you imagine about all this? Regardless of what it is more than important that you arrive here, expose it in your comments so that we can enter into that crazy debate. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.